So one of the best ways you can take a steady bass blues and start to add more character to it is by working in some walking bass lines. So ordinarily, if you're doing steady bass, say in the key of E, the thumb is just sticking to the roots. Right, just sitting on E for the E chords, sitting on the A for the A chords. Right, so if you can get some motion into the bass line, it'll start to open things up and make it more colorful. And if you can play licks along with that, it'll be even cooler. So, for instance, if you took a bass line like this, and then you went back to the steady bass here, but you walked up one more time to get to the A, measure 5. There's just one example, okay? And that's sort of like a typical swing era kind of bass line where every note gets repeated, but then you move. So you've got basically 2 different notes in each measure. So E, and then 4th fret on the low string, G sharp, over to A, and then 1st fret, 2nd fret, and then a measure of E, and then this last measure is split between E and G sharp. So that's the bass line. Just look at the first 4 measures to kind of illustrate this idea. So what happens now is kind of a sleight of hand, because what you do is you really just play the licks whenever you still have an open string in the bass, and then you don't worry about playing licks when you're fretting a bass note. And it sounds like this. So here's the bass, open, and then here's the fretted note, and now here we're playing a lick on top along with the open A. Here's some more bass note, and now and this is the only place in the 4 bars where I'm actually holding down both a bass note and a fretted melody note on top. So the licks I'm playing are pretty simple. Right? So I'm playing a hammer-on from the open 2nd string to the 2nd fret, and then over to the high string, back to the 2nd string. It's 5 notes all together. And the way the notes fall over the bass. So bass, hammer-on, pinch, and then to the bass note. Now the next lick on the A is just 3rd fret on the high string to open, 2nd fret to open. And so pinch, pinch, bass notes. Here I've got a whole measure of steady bass in E. And now here's the bass note to the high string, pinch with the 3rd fret on the 2nd string and the 4th fret on the low string. So this part, a lick like that takes a little planning ahead to think, well, what am I going to use for the bass note so that I still have a finger available for this? Or put another way, like you don't want to use this note for the melody if you know you need a bass over here. So using a lower finger, like index or middle, for this note, so that you have, you know, middle ring or pinky to grab the bass. It takes a little bit of thinking ahead. But basically, you're just playing in between all the bass lines. And so just starting with one bass line and a couple of specific licks, you can start to get the idea of it and the coordination of it together, and then you can start to branch out and put whatever licks you want in there. Because anytime you've got an open string, you can play whatever you want. can get as complicated as you want, but even really simple basic licks sound really good because you've got this kind of natural call and response going on, and since you're only playing when you've got the bass on an open string, that means you're automatically leaving some space in your improvising when the bass is active, so it just sort of automatically makes you sound super tasteful. So that's one way to start incorporating some walking bass lines into your playing. If you've got any questions or comments, please scroll down, leave me a message. I'd love to get back to you about it, hear what you're thinking about, and I hope you enjoy working on this, and I'll see you next time.